So maybe you've seen a picture of yourself on Facebook or Instagram recently and you actually don't even recognize yourself. Or you want to challenge yourself to an Ironman or a Comrades Marathon, if hopefully it can happen one day again. Or you've had a health scare and you know that you actually need to make lifestyle changes. So in any of those cases, we know we need to look at our diet and exercise programs. And if you're anything like me, when that happens, I get super excited and amped and motivated and ready for this challenge. And I then do all my research and get all the plans that I need. And once I have the plans, it's as if there's a sense of overwhelm and paralysis almost that sets in. And it's almost as if we want to give up. We think, you know what? But I've done all the work. I've went to the doctor, or I saw the dietitian, or I downloaded my plan. Surely that should be enough, but unfortunately, it's not enough. We still need to actually be following the plan. And I know it sounds simple, but sometimes it's just good to hear it out loud. So today I thought I'd talk to you about how to really get your head in the game and make the eating plans your own that we have available for you from Nutrition Doctor's side. So first off, the first thing that I'd recommend is once you download your plan, take some time, maybe an hour when you have no distractions, and if you can, download the plan, make yourself a nice cup of coffee or tea, or pour yourself a glass of water, and really sit down with the eating plan and go through every single meal. Because if you just look at it in a quick flyby way, it might feel a bit overwhelming and too many options and so forth. So just a little bit of background why there's so many variety and options on the plan is basically our goal is so that you don't get bored with the types of food, so you actually have a lot of options to play with. And then also remember, we need to try and cater for majority of people's preferences even within your family. So with saying that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to eat something different every single day, for example, for breakfast, even though on the plan it says something different every day. So saying that, looking at your plan, I'd recommend really looking at every single meal and deciding whether it's something you definitely will eat, if it's something you're definitely not going to eat, and if it's something you want to try but you don't necessarily have the time to do it in the week. So I always say the things you know you're not going to eat, you don't like it at all, scratch it out. The things you know you're going to eat regularly, I'd say highlight them, and the things you want to try and experiment with a bit, maybe draw a circle around them. So then you've already thinned out the plan a bit and made it your own. So once you've done that, I recommend starting, if you really feel extremely overwhelmed and you don't even know where to start, I say maybe just choose one meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, that you feel comfortable with, that you have a little bit more time and that you're excited about, and then choose two options on the menu that you can alternate between. So I actually had a client this week with the same thing, and we decided to do breakfast first, and once she feels that breakfast is under control, then she can move on to lunch or dinner. So in her case, we decided we'll alternate between a smoothie and a granola or muesli and yogurt for breakfast. So she's going to alternate between that throughout the week. And then the things that you might have encircled, try them over the weekend, I would recommend. But even within a smoothie or within a granola or yogurt and muesli, there's a few things that we can change up for some variety if you're going to stick to that options for quite a while. You can change up the fruits a bit, you can change up the granola or the muesli a bit, you can add different seeds or nuts, you can add different protein powders and flavors and so forth to your smoothie. So there's still a lot of variety that we can bring in, because we know variety is very important for all the different vitamins and minerals and nutrients that we actually need to be consuming. So that's the first thing. Try and get one meal really under control that you feel confident with, and then move on to maybe lunch or dinner if you've chosen breakfast to start off with. The second thing I'd recommend is once you now feel comfortable with the one meal and you decided to move on to dinner, I'd recommend again looking at the dinner options that you've decided that you maybe want to alternate between. You've maybe chosen 4 options for the week. Look in those options whether you don't have common ingredients, like for example brown rice or quinoa or root veggies or salad and that type of thing, and see whether there's one day in the week where you have a bit more time and you're a little bit more relaxed, when you can prepare a few of those meals in advance, or at least ingredients in advance if you don't want to cook the meals already. So things like brown rice, if you're going to cook brown rice, cook a big pot of brown rice because it stays quite fresh in the fridge for at least a week. The same with quinoa. You can do the same with something like chicken breast. You can cook quite a few chicken breasts, shred them up, cube them up so you can use them either in a wrap or in a salad or in a sandwich, or you can even mix it up into meals for dinner. Your veggies, the same thing. You can steam your broccoli and cauliflower already or boil them up so that they're not cooked yet. They're almost cooked, so that when you're going to prepare them in the week, when you just maybe want to fry them up with a bit of oil or roast them a little bit in the oven, then the time is shortened quite a bit. And the same with your root vegetables, like for example, sweet potato, butternut, even your potato and so forth. All of these veggies actually stay quite fresh if you seal them in an airtight container in the fridge. Just don't overcook them when you do cook them, so that there's about 10 minutes left, if you have 10 minutes in the week, just to put everything together and just finish off the cooking time. So ingredient prepping is actually very effective and can actually be very helpful, so that you don't get bored with the types of meals that you have that it doesn't feel like you're having the same thing every single day. You can make different nourish bowls, or then you can do spaghetti bolognese if you've had mince, and then in another time you can add the mince to like something like lasagna or moussaka. So there's a lot of different things we can do, and it doesn't feel like we're having the same thing, but we've shortened the cooking time and spending time in the kitchen, because that's one of the biggest things that I've seen with people, is that they don't have a lot of time to spend cooking. The last tip that I have is, and I really challenge you, is to try even just one new recipe every week. It doesn't need to be a recipe on the eating plan. It can be something that you found on an app or in a magazine, or that we share with you on our website or on a weekly basis. So I recommend just trying something new, experimenting a bit with flavors that you maybe not used to, veggies that you maybe not used to, because this is how you can really expand your taste profile, and then also learn to like a few things that you might even thought you didn't like for example broccoli or veggies and so forth. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to contact us via WhatsApp or email, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.